Okay, so the project which we are going to create is going to be an election tracking system in which we will track the recently concluded election of rerun election of just North Basa Federal Constituency. So the first thing we are going to start to do is to source the data which will serve as our database. And as for the database of this project, we are planning to use MySQL. We already have MySQL installed and set up, and we even tested MySQL on my computer. And I'm going to use it. I will be using benchmark here, MySQL workbench. Okay, this is it. So in the kai installing issue successfully, you are going to have something like this. So I will start by creating the database, and as for the database, I think I will simply call it election. Okay, but that is going to be create database election. Okay, so this is it, create database election, and then I will use the election. Okay, so this first line, if I run it, and by the way, you can see you have two executions here. This will execute everything, and this will execute only what is under the cursor. So which means if I intend to run these two lines, I will have to use this one all at once, or otherwise I will run each one by clicking on the line like so. So that has run the first line, and then coming over to the second line, and that means now the database has been selected. Now if I refresh here, you will see we have election down here. Let me collapse this. So all of these are all other databases which I have on my computer. So on your system, actually you are not going to see anything from them. Okay, but if you run, you will definitely see this election. So you see we have election, we don't have any table. So now how many tables are we going to need for this? Well, the tables which we are going to need will have the LG table. So let me create table, and let me give the table LG as a local government. Okay, so create table LG, and then inside the bracket I want to have ID, and this ID is going to be an integer, and is going to be auto increment, and is going to be a primary key. Okay, it's going to be a primary key. Then I will have LG, let me do underscore code, and that is also going to be an integer. All right, and then after that I will have the LG itself, okay, which is going to be a string. So that will be a voucher. Okay, voucher means variable character, and then I will simply make it like 10 because I have only just north and I have Basa. Just is 3 space 4, then north 5. Okay, so 10 can be okay for me, or to be safe, let me just make it 20. Okay, so as you can see, if you are defining integer, you do not necessarily need to provide the length of the field, but if you are using voucher, then you must have the length of the field. Okay, so this is going to, then it means you are going to get an error. Okay, let's say I do like this and I intend to run it. Even before I run, you can see the error is indicating right here. So here I want to make it 20. All right, and as for the local government, I want to insert into LG. What am I actually inserting? I will be inserting LG code and also the LG with the values So as for the values I'm inserting, I will be inserting for the code. And so sorry, let me make a little change here. Instead of using int, let me also use virtual, because the code cannot be used for any calculation. Okay, so it is better if I just maintain it as virtual. All right, and as for this virtual, let me just make it like 2. All right, so for the code, basa is code 02. Okay, then we have basa just like that. Okay, so let me make a comma, and then let me add another one. And as for just north, the code is 05, and then here we have just north. All right, so let me go ahead and terminate that. So let me start by running this. Select the code here and then click execute, and that has been executed. And then let me also execute this. That has been executed as well. Okay, so the next thing that I will do is just for me to visualize this data. So let me do select star from LG, and if I execute that line, then it will show me the LG. So you see, this is code 02 Basa, and then I have code 05 just north. By the way, somebody is thinking, oh, how do you know that this LG code is 02 and this one is 05? Well, it is very easy. What you will do is you can simply head over to Google, and then you can go to the website of INEC. So let me do inecnigeria.org, inecnigeria.org. So you can go to this page if you want to, or if you are just heading to the landing page of inecnigeria.org, then this is where you will be taken to. So all the data we will be using is open source of INEC from the INEC website. So if you are in the INEC website, you can come over to election, and then you can go to polling units. Okay, we will need to use some data from the polling units right here. So down here, you see it says to view your polling unit, follow the steps. Okay, select state, select LGA, and select ward. So let me just choose state, and then I will scroll to plateau. So choose LGA, and let me start with Basa. Okay, the last one, Basa. Okay, and then let me, okay, so you see the Basa has these words: Bohid, Buji, Gabia, Gurum, Jingir, Kadam. Okay, Yawa, and so on and so forth. So usually how INEC does this is that this Bohid is going to be the code 001, sorry, 01. This is 02, this is 03, and so on and so forth. That is how they do it. So what we will need to do right now, we will need to actually capture this 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 list. Okay, and I think the easiest way for me I can do that is, yes, you can do screenshot, then later on you can do the copy. Okay, or let me simply take this to one side of the screen, and let me open something like Notepad. Since there are not too many, I can simply do it this way. Then when it comes to the polling units, I will actually capture the actual polling units.